Welcome, CANA Fantasy Football fans. And this is the commish with a special announcement on how things are going to work in 2022 as far as our fantasy football league. I have some really exciting news with some unveiling of our new league structure and some invites to announce. So stay tuned to the bitter end if you're interested in what's going to be happening this year. So first off, we've had 7 awesome years since 2015 of fantasy football, and last year we grew to a league of 19 teams, in which my fellow commissions around the world told me that was way too many teams, and that I was a crazy person for actually putting that many teams into one league. And you know what? They were absolutely right. I think near the end of the season, I picked up Emmitt Smith, and that guy hasn't run a ball in 20 years. However, he was available. So we definitely ran out of players, especially at the end of the year. I've learned my lesson. So this year we are doing what many of you will, if you know me well, we are moving to 2 leagues. We're going to have a Premier League and then a Junior League. And then we're going to have relegation and promotion between seasons. So this is a pretty exciting structure. The Premier League will be a 12-team league I will invite teams, send an invitation. If they accept, you're in the Premier League. If you don't, and you can decline, that'd be crazy if you did, but if you don't want to participate, then obviously you can move down to the Junior League, or not participate at all if you want to take a few years off. So the trophy will be awarded to the winner of the Premier League, the upper league. And the naming of the leagues, as long as no solicitor from Great Britain sends me a letter, we'll call it the Premier League. If that occurs, we need to change the name immediately for obvious reasons. We can call it something else. If somebody has a better name for it, then please, shoot me a chat. The other league will be called the Dogfight Football League. And of course, for many of those that has seen Maverick, Top Gun, that is the crazy made-up game that they developed for the movie and that they played on the beach. So who knows if it's a real game? I don't think anybody knows the rules, but it just seems like a fun name for the Junior League. Again, if everybody can participate in the Junior League, and if your team does well there, then it could get an invite, or promotion up to the Premier League the next year. The Premier League, if you finish in the bottom X number, which is to be determined, then you may be relegated back to the Junior League, or the Dogfight Football League. So with that, I know everybody, after I just said I was going to make the announcements for the invite, is probably wondering who the heck is going to be in this Premier League. So we're going to go from best performances over the 7 years that we've had the league. First off, I would like to invite the last place team in 2021, which you're probably thinking that's crazy. However, this team is our only 2-time champ that's currently still active. We do have other caners that had football teams that were very successful. You have to be a current caner to participate in the league. So this one is the only 2-time champ that's still here, and it's Vader's Fist. And they won the championship in 2017, 2018, and came in second in 2019. Quite a run. Last year, obviously, the fates were not as kind to Koa, and he came in 19 out of 19 teams. However, you've done well enough to get our first invite. Second invite, and for here, I've done the champions from most recent to the most distant in the past. Our 2021 champ, the Reno Tahoes with Connor. Welcome, and you get the second invite. As you'll see, all the champions, all the CANA Bowl champions are going to be represented here. Moving back to 2020, the Albany, Georgia Jeep Life, and Kurt. Welcome to the Premier League. And the last champion that we still have on board is way back, and this person probably, hopefully when they wake up in the morning and see the ring on their dresser, still remembers why they won the ring. It was way back in 2015. The first champ, Dan, the Latrobe Unparalleled Dominance, which they have in recent years haven't had unparalleled dominance, but in 2015 they did, and they won our first CANA Bowl. So those 4 teams, welcome. Now going back to start the non-champion teams. So the first one is a 2-time second place, a 2-time almost had champion, and that is the Richmond, Virginia River Rats with Renee. So congratulations, second place in 2020, 2021. And so, yeah, your invite is there. Hopefully, you'll be able to step up take that next step in 2022 and, have a chance to win it all with the Premier League. The next invite, we have to go quite a ways back. Again, some of these teams, perform really well right out of the box, and then we haven't heard from them recently. However, you performed well enough in the past that you made it to the Premier League, at least an invite to the Premier League. And that is Kenny down in Wilmington. King of Battle had a 2016 second place and a 2015 third place. So those 2 finishes are, enough to get you an invite. We go to the single third places now. So we have a 2021 third place finisher, the Portland PDXer. So we have Travis up in Portland. So welcome. We have the Giants in the playoffs, the 2020 third place team. Now, some of you, these teams have changed names, and you know who you are. Some of you have changed names multiple times. I am going with the last team name, right? That's the fun of fantasy football. You can change your name, and the team names are typically pretty funny. But so don't get confused. I tried to go back through and figure out your lineage. So hopefully I counted everybody correctly. But yeah, Giants in the playoffs in 2020 got a third place. So welcome to the Premier League. The last third place team to get in is the Johnstown Jackalopes. So Aaron, that 2019 third place finish that you probably were pretty bummed about back then has now earned you an invite. So the last 2 spots, this is one of the we had a major battle for these 2 spots, but fortunately there were 2 teams. Or excuse me, I'm sorry, I forgot the and before I have the runoff here of the really best of the rest. I forgot one team. Okay, so 52 Stack Monster, the Gainesville Rob's team, actually had a second place. So yeah, they're actually in. So Rob, if you were like thinking, heck, what was, has Walt started drinking early or something and forgotten about me? No, I have not. So you do have an invite. So those folks have second or third places. Then we had to go to how many fourth places teams have got over the years. So had to go way back. And fortunately for me, the Chapel Hill First and 50 have pulled out 2 fourth place finishes in 2019 and 2021. So hard-earned fourth place finishes, which means you get to the playoffs and then lose the first game and then you lose the second game. So make it to the playoffs, but you don't win any playoff games. That's kind of a consolation round. The other team, the last team to get an invite, has also 2 fourth place finishes. And so welcome Colorado Mountain Goats, and that's Norm's team. Again, that team has changed names about 4 times. I would hate to have been their branding person or, bought a t-shirt in the Denver area to support this fantasy football team, because you would have a lot of t-shirts at this point in time. But yes, they had a 2015 and 2016 fourth place finish. So those 12 teams get invites into the Premier League, and all the other teams, like I mentioned before, we are definitely happy to throw all the other teams into the Dogfight Football League, and it'll be a realsies league. Each league will have its own draft, and I'll be sending out information about that. It's an auto draft. Actually, you don't have to do really anything at all, and trades will be allowed. And so yes, we're playing pretty much the same rules as we did last year. The standard ESPN rules. You do need an ESPN account to participate, but other than that, there's no cost involved. And we're looking forward to a great year of fun. And so we'll have the excitement of watching the 12 teams battle it out, and then we'll also have the excitement of seeing the Dogfight Football League also battle it out and see who finishes on top to then be promoted to the Premier League or the Senior League, or whatever we're going to call it. But yeah, so hopefully everybody thinks this is going to be a fun idea. Please give me feedback. We are looking to, I will schedule these drafts probably a week before the first games, typically, to allow for any injuries in the preseason games. And you don't want it to be too close to the first game because of that, but you don't want it to be too far away from the last preseason game, because you want to allow for trades before the first weekend. However, it needs to be a little bit past the last preseason game in case somebody gets injured. So I will be sending that information out. So if you found this very interesting, or if you got an invite, and I'll be contacting everybody via the chat room also, then you should be looking forward to the best CANA fantasy football year ever, with lots of excitement. So with that, hopefully everybody found this slightly entertaining, and we're looking forward to a great year.